A man from Colton, California, he and his wife went and bought a new sofa. Well, they got it through Craigslist. We were just talking about Craigslist a minute ago. They found inside, they got it free on Craigslist. People list a lot of stuff for free on Craigslist. Something I've never used, by the way. I've never been on there.
Yet.
A lot of people think my clothing comes from there or from Goodwill.
You get it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
I
donated.
I pickleball with a guy who only shops at Goodwill. He's like, I'm not spending. He came up to me. He thought I was the same. He's like, I'm like you. I don't spend good money on clothes.
Good for you.
Hey, look, that's what the kids do these days.
Go to Goodwill.
They go to Goodwill and buy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, this woman and her husband bought a sofa or got a sofa for free on Craigslist and found, as they were rearranging the cushions on it, $36,000 inside the sofa. And so they started calling around to try to figure out who had it, meet back up with the person, and got the money back to the person who...
Who's storing money in sofas like this?
The guy who sold it to him.
Druggies.
Drugs?
You think it was drug dealers?
Las drogas?
At some point.
That would probably, if I found that much money in there, I would probably give it back to for fear of that.
Yeah, they're going to come looking
36,000.
for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's or just some elderly person who doesn't understand banks.
That's what I was thinking. The family that was giving away the furniture explained that a loved one had recently passed away.
Okay.
They were liquidating everything in the property, and apparently that older person had shoved a lot of money into the sofa, and they didn't realize it. So they got the money back. This is the folks who bought the sofa saying as soon as they saw it, they knew what they had to do.
We pick it up, we brought it in. I felt something. I thought it was a heat pad. I was just like telling my son, come. I was screaming, come. It's money. I need to call the guy.
That's exactly what I was.
So if you were going to hide cash in a sofa, would you cram it down into the crevices, or would you open up the cushions and put it inside the cushions?
I'd crevice it.
Oh, I was going to say the opposite.
But you would.
I was going to say the opposite.
No, I'd shove it right in the crevices.
Well, you've done
See, the thing about this, if you put it in the cushions, you might notice it if you sit on it.
yeah.
Oh, I was thinking you've done some crevicing, and
lot.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're right.
Got more to do.
I'm going to change my mind on this. I would have put it in the cushions because I feel like crevicing, it just kind of like works its way up, or somebody reaches down for a remote control and there it is, inside the cushion. Maybe.
Well, see, I wish I could see a picture of this. I want to see how it was packed in there.
Cushion to creviced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do it in the cushion, though, it gets wet, something spills on it.
It was inside the cushion. It
cushion?
was
Okay.
inside the cushion, yes.
Yeah, that's work. Then you have to put it on the downside, because otherwise you're literally sitting on it and you feel
on it.
lumps.
Exactly.
I think if you have an elderly person in your life, you should check. Elderly people don't trust the banks.
What you said is right, too. They felt discomfort. They felt like something was too lumpy, and so they unzipped it to rearrange it. And when they did, there was a pile of money. Then they unzipped all three cushions, and there was money in each one.
Yeah.
So, totaling $36,000. And you heard the guy there saying, I was telling my son, come. Money. And they wound up, the family that got the sofa back gave them a $2,200 reward for turning in.
That's nice.
And the folks said, we didn't expect that. We didn't want that. They didn't need a dime out of it, but they insisted they take $2,200 for their trouble. So they got almost $36,000 back. It's pretty good, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was really nice. A zero today. Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers have pulled over a motorcyclist doing 147 miles per hour on a motorcycle. And when they ask him, we have the exchange now from the cop's body camera. And the motorcyclist said, I don't know how fast I was going.
You know how fast you were going? No, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. So listen, I am going to issue a citation for your speed, all right? Okay. 147 in a 65-mile-an-hour zone. Okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize
how
fast I was going.
No idea. 147 in a 65. Can you imagine going that fast and not realizing how fast?
What motorcycle was that? It's got one of those crotch rockets?
Well, yeah, maybe.
Probably a Ducati.
Yeah, maybe. 147. How fast does a Harley go?
I don't know.
I don't think they're
They've
built
got
for
some
that,
heft to them.
Yeah,
I don't think they do it like something that's a little more streamlined.
Must have been what you refer to as a crotch rocket.
Yeah.
And he was going 147 in a 65 and said, I just wasn't paying attention, man. What am I supposed to do? Do you lose your license for something like that? That's 80 miles an hour of the speed limit.
You've got to, I think.
Yeah, that's beyond reckless, I would think.
It's more than double.
Oh, yeah.
Over the speed limit. Do you know how scared I would be?
Oh, how fast a
I can
motorcycle.
tell it right now.
I'm puckered.
Your butthole's puckered and you're
right
creviced.
now. If I saw that, I'm crevicing, Biggie. I'm crevicing over here.
I can tell.
If I even saw that going down the road, I would.
You wouldn't see it. It'd just
You're
be a
right.
blink.
Once again, the other day, I was out on the loop and somebody's zipping in and out around me. And I
Yeah.
said, good gosh, I'm just tired of that. You
Yeah.
know? Come
Oh,
on.
yeah. People zip. I can't
Yeah.
stand it when people zip.
Oh, I can't stand that either.
Yeah, I don't like the zip, but that's just where we are.
Yeah.
Until we get the self-driving cars. Please. Come on, Elon. Do it.
Somebody will be driving you at that
Do
point,
whatever it
Chris
takes.
Demm. when it
Fine.
happens.
You trust the machinery
Way
over
more than my
over the-
fellow humans.
over the people.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, it's still kind of quaint. We did some driving on Interstate 95, and I find it utterly charming that they still have signs that say, speed limit 55. And it's like one of those antique signs
Isn't that precious?
as you blow past it at 85.
Yeah, it's like when you pass one of those old gutted out gas stations that has like an
Yeah.
SO sign on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, the pumps are rusted.
Yeah, and the gas is 50.
That takes me back.
Yeah, right.
Oh, 55. Wow.
Remember those days?
I remember the time.
Nixon.
Jeff, you're talking about Jeff. How fast does a Harley go now? I don't know what kind of motorcycle this guy had. What do you say?
Mine will run 130. That's as
130.
hard as it'll go.
Okay.
And I've run it many times.
You've gone 130. Doesn't that scare you to death?
Not a bit.
Does that sound like a man with fear in his voice,
No,
Kelly?
not a bit. No, it does not.
I guess
But you don't worry because at 130, I mean, if a bird hits you, you're gone, don't you think?
Oh, I've had a bird to hit me in the chest, and he did not slow me down a bit.
This guy, this is a man here. Okay,
Yeah.
this is a man. I do not know that. If I get up past 75, 80 in a car, I'm like,
Hell yeah.
I'm puckered. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Well, Two Will Hardo said he's had birds knock him a couple of times. He called in a few weeks ago to say that because somebody had been hit by a bird in the chest. D, you're talking about motorcycles. This guy was going 147 in a 65. Go ahead.
What's up, guys? It's D, your number one black people and listening to Except for James.
Yes, sir.
Now, listen, if people call y'all and they've ridden a motorcycle over 100 and said they didn't realize it, they're lying.
Yeah.
Well, I should have asked Jeff that. That's what I was thinking. Could you go over 100 and not know it? I mean, this guy said he didn't realize it.
Once you get to 100, you know it. You don't know when you're going 60,
Okay.
when you're cruising.
Okay.
But once you hit that 100 mark, trust me, you know it.
I figured.
Are you a motorcyclist too, D?
Yes, I was before I had a very bad accident.
Oh, you did?
Ooh, what
D.
happened?
Someone pulled out in front of me.
Ugh.
Did you go flying off the motorcycle?
No, well, I hit the side of the road and I thought I was going to hold it, but the back end flipped around and I went tumbling.
Ooh, boy. That must have been. Did everything slow down or did it go so quickly? What was
Yeah,
the feeling?
it was just like it was in slow motion. I could see my bike going into 1,000 pieces.
Oh, sorry. What were your injuries?
But only thing happened, a broken wrist.
Okay. Well,
Dang.
thank goodness.
You are lucky.
Thank goodness, yeah. Appreciate the phone call. Do you know how bad I would have creviced on something like that?
Oh, yeah.
These stories are making you crevice.
Oh, my goodness.
What if the fastest is somebody's been on a motorcycle? I mean, I know
Like
it's how
on
it's
a highway,
constructed.
or you mean like a speed record?
Well, both. I mean, regular highway, that's the highest I've ever heard.
147.
I mean, it's 150. That's,
Yeah. What do you think, 200?
well, I don't know what two wheels can handle.
I don't either.
Yeah, what do they call it? The death
Well, physics
The-
get
well,
to
the
it.
death
rattle.
death
Yeah.
rattle, death
The
shake.
wobble. Death
wobble.
wobble. That's right. Doug, you're talking about going over 100 miles per hour on a motorcycle. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. I agree with the previous caller. That guy had to know he was cooking. I've pegged my speedometer at $120 on my Sportster coming back from Daytona before.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, gentlemen, you are correct. Death wobble is when your front end starts getting all squirrely, and when it does that, if you don't slow down, you're going to go flying.
Have you had that happen to you?
No, but I was in a hit and run on my motorcycle. I basically got stopped short in traffic. Thank God I had taken a motorcycle riding course, and I was like, ooh, hey, it just paid off. I didn't wreck.
Yeah, that's important.
What do you think is the
Me
fastest
up off the
motorcycle?
side of the road.
Oops, sorry. What's the fastest motorcycle on the road legally these days?
The Hayabusa is one of the top ones. It's 200 horsepower and 200 foot-pounds of torque straight out of the box.
How's that?
All right, break it down for us idiots.
How fast do it go?
How many miles per hour?
You're talking probably close to too. I mean, I bet its speedometer pegs at about 180 for legal reasons.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
But even once that death wobble starts and you say, I got to slow down, it takes a while to slow down. When you want to slow down then, and you got to do it gradually because you'll flip. You can't slam it on.
Ease off.
Thank you, Doug. I
Talk about
appreciate it.
puckering.
Oh my! So I just hosted a motorcycle event.
You did.
I was crevicing there. It was just people driving in like
It was 10 miles an hour in the motorcycle.
Yeah, they're saying hey during the motorcycle guys. I was like, I can't.
Careful.
I can't.
Slow down.
But loud enough that it sounds like they can go 300 miles an hour.
Oh yeah, they're loud.
They're loud.
And for the record, I've death wobbled not being on a bike.
Right? Yeah.
Just me walking.
I see you down the hall.
Going down the hall, you get a death wobble.
Yeah.
Look out! He's got the death wobble.
He's going down.
If he doesn't slow down, get out of his way. Philip, you're talking about motorcycles. This guy was doing 147 and a 65. Go ahead.
That guy's an idiot. I've just about died on a motorcycle going 30 miles an hour.
No kidding. Boy, how did that happen? Now tell us that story.
Catastrophic brake failure. My brakes grabbed and just sent me flipping over in traffic, and my motorcycle hit another car, come back and hit me. I had 4 broken ribs, punctured lung, torn liver, torn adrenal gland, bleeding in my brain, bleeding on my optic nerve into my sclera, and broken wrist. And I just road rash from my knees to my nose. And I'm done with 2-wheelers.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Going 30?
Would you ride a 3-wheeler?
Maybe a Can-Am with the 2 in the front gives you better control, but I'm not riding a Harley anymore.
Thank you very much for the phone call, Philip.
My
Appreciate
dad,
it.
I've told you before, my dad was a pilot, and he bought a motorcycle in between his tours of duty in Vietnam.
That's right.
And one day I came home. I mean, he would sit us up in the gas tank. I'm 4 years old. He'd sit us up on the gas tank and take us cruising.
Yeah.
On the gas tank. And then one day the motorcycle wasn't there, and my dad wasn't either. And a couple days later, he came from the hospital with his leg in a cast. We never saw the motorcycle.
That was it. Well, Two-Wheel Hardo would argue with our previous caller. Two-Wheel Hardo got his name because, literally, that's a P1 to this show, because he sees 3-wheel motorcycles, and it's just like, get out of my face. I mean,
it's Golden Girls.
That's the only thing I'd consider.
It's interesting that the 2 in the front seem to have more control than the 2 in the back. Because I know nothing about it.
Right. I told Two-Wheel Hardo a few weeks ago, I had gone to a biker bar for lunch one day, and there were 2 3-wheeled motorcycles sitting right up front next to the door, 2 in the front and 1 in the back. And Two-Wheel Hardo says, sounds like that's your kind of place. I said, yeah, that's my spot.
If he was there, he'd pee on them.
They have bottomless mimosas.
Like a dog.
Yeah, and a Cosmo. An Appletini. Yeah. Kevin, one more call on how fast you can go on a motorcycle. This guy did 147. Go ahead, Kevin. Kevin, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, so my buddy and I were testing his Honda CBR 1100 on a backcountry road, and I was tucked in over his shoulder staring at the speedometer at 187.
2 people on that bike.
187. You're on the back.
Crevice.
I'll tell you. I would have whispered in his ear, please let me off this motorcycle. Please slow down.
What?
What?
We're going too fast. I can't hear you.
I think I can hit 2.
Would you please?
Hang on. Faster.
What did you say?
want to go faster.
Kevin, what did you say to this man? My God.
It was there was a stop sign about a mile up, and he didn't realize it till the last second. Locked everything up.
Oh, no.
The only thing kept me on that motorcycle was pressing against the gas tank as hard as I could.
Yeah. And have you ever ridden a motorcycle since?
No.
I'll tell you.
How about
That would
that?
scare.
It's a hell of a ride.
How you learn.
Goodness.